Italy is a fantastic place to visit with so much to see and do. From the colorful towns along the Amalfi Coast to the tropical beaches in Sardinia. And let's not forget about Rome, the historical capital city. Italy is filled with beautiful sights. Planning a trip here can be overwhelming because there are so many amazing places to choose from. But don't worry, whether you visit in Christmas or summer, there's something for everyone. So many wonderful places await you in Italy, making it a must-see destination. There are lots of favorite spots to visit in Italy that you'll want to add to your bucket list. Number 5. Venice, the floating city of canals. Venice, a magical city in Italy, is famous for its beautiful canals, stunning buildings, and magnificent bridges. No matter what kind of traveler you are, Venice will amaze you with its charm. There are plenty of things to do in Venice that will make your visit unforgettable. One of the classic experiences in Venice is taking a ride on a gondola. These traditional boats will glide you gracefully through the city's winding canals, passing by grand palaces and hearing stories about the city's history. It's a perfect activity for couples on a honeymoon. You can book tickets for a gondola ride online in advance or negotiate with one of the gondoliers on the day of your visit. Another thing to do is walk around St. Mark's Square. It's a really famous place in Venice with lots of things to see. There's a big church called St. Mark's Basilica and a tall clock tower. You can also just sit in one of the cafes and watch everything going on around you. You don't have to pay to go outside the buildings, but they look pretty cool from the outside. The Rialto Bridge is another must-see in Venice. It's the oldest bridge over the biggest canal in the city. It was built a long time ago, but it's still standing strong. Lots of people want to see it, so it can be crowded. It's better to look at it from one of the smaller canals instead of trying to walk across it. When you're in Venice, you have to try some of the local food and drinks too. One thing to try is cicchetti. It's like a bunch of little snacks served on a plate. You might get bread, olives, ham, cheese, or seafood. Every place does it a little differently, but it's always tasty. And you can't visit Venice without trying an Aperol Spritz. It's a special drink made with Prosecco, a kind of Italian sparkling wine, and Aperol, a bitter orange-flavored liquor. They mix it with soda water and serve it with a slice of orange. It's really refreshing, especially on a hot day. Lots of refreshments in Venice offer Aperol Spritz and cicchetti together as a lunch deal. It's a great way to taste some local flavors while you take a break from sightseeing. Venice is a magical place that you'll never forget. Number 4. The Amalfi Coast. The Amalfi Coast is a place many people dream of visiting. It's in Italy, in a region called Campania. This area is about 34 miles long and is known for its beautiful cliffs by the sea, charming coastal towns, and stunning blue waters. Every year, around 5 million tourists come to see its beauty. Whether you decide to stay in Sorrento, Positano, or any of the other lovely towns, you'll be amazed by what you see. Positano is one of the most beautiful places on the Amalfi Coast. When you first see it, you might feel like it's the prettiest place in the whole world. It's a small town built right on the edge of a cliff next to the sea, with colorful buildings that make it look like something from a postcard. You can spend your time walking through its narrow streets, relaxing on its beautiful beaches, or even trying out stand-up paddleboarding in the ocean. If you want to experience something truly special, you should take a boat trip to the island of Capri. This island is known for its sunny weather, stunning landscapes, and luxurious shopping. Even though it's only about 6 kilometers long, billions of tourists come here every year. You can visit the famous Blue Grotto, enjoy the views from the Gardens of Augustus, or take a hike on the Centurio dei Fortini Borbonici. Another interesting day trip you can take from the Amalfi Coast is to Pompeii. This ancient city was destroyed by a volcanic eruption from Mount Vesuvius in the year 79 AD. Now it's an archaeological site that you can visit and learn about. You can take tours from places like Sorrento, where you can see the remains of the disaster and learn about what life was like in ancient Pompeii. When you visit the Amalfi Coast, you have to try some of the delicious food and drinks that are famous in the region. One popular street food is called Cupo de Amalfi. It's a simple but flavorful dish that includes fried squid, fish, onion rings, and chips, all served together in a paper cone. It's a favorite among both locals and tourists. Another thing you must try is limoncello, a famous Italian liqueur. You'll often be offered this drink after your meals on the Amalfi Coast. It comes in a small chilled glass and is made from lemon zest, sugar, and grain alcohol. It's not very strong, but it has a sweet and sour taste that lingers in your mouth for a while after you drink it. With its breathtaking views, charming towns, delicious food, and fascinating history, it's a destination that has something for everyone to enjoy. On to number 3, Florence, the land of Renaissance art. Florence is a top choice if you're looking for a warm and romantic place to visit in central Italy. This city is famous for its beautiful artworks. If you're into museums, Florence has plenty to offer. One of the most famous is the Uffizi Gallery, which holds some of the oldest and most famous artworks in the world. You can also visit the Accademia Gallery, where you'll find the renowned sculpture of Michelangelo's David, among other treasures. Florence is truly impressive and should definitely be on your list of places to see in Italy. When you visit Florence, there are several must-see spots you shouldn't miss. One of them is the Piazza del Duomo, which is at the heart of the city. Here, you can see iconic landmarks like the Basilica of Santa Maria del Fiore and the Battistero di San Giovanni. Despite the crowds, the grandeur of these buildings is hard to miss. Just a short walk from the Piazza del Duomo is the Palazzo Vecchio, another symbol of Florence. This building, once the seat of the Republic of Florence, is now the city's town hall. Its square shape and sandy appearance make it instantly recognizable. For a breathtaking view of Florence, head to Piazzale Michelangelo. While it's a bit of a hike from the city center, the panoramic view of the city is worth it. From here, you can admire the skyline of Florence, the birthplace of many renowned artists. Florence is also famous for its delicious food and drink. One dish you must try is bistecca fiorentina, a traditional Florentine steak made from either veal or heifer. While it can be a bit pricey, the taste is unforgettable. Being in Tuscany, Florence is also known for its wine. You can find excellent Tuscan wines throughout the city, with Chianti being a popular choice among locals and visitors alike. In addition to its sights and culinary delights, Florence offers a rich cultural experience. The city is steeped in history, with its narrow streets and Renaissance architecture telling stories of centuries past. Art lovers will be in paradise in Florence, with its many museums and galleries showcasing masterpieces from the Renaissance period and beyond. The Uffizi Gallery, in particular, is a treasure trove of art, housing works by artists like Botticelli, Leonardo da Vinci, and Raphael. Exploring Florence's streets, you'll encounter charming cafes, bustling markets, and artisan workshops. Take the time to wander and soak in the atmosphere of this enchanting city. For those interested in history, Florence has no shortage of historic sites to explore. From the iconic Ponte Vecchio to the imposing Palazzo Pitti, every corner of the city has a story to tell. Whether you're strolling along the Arno River or climbing the steps of the Duomo, Florence captivates visitors with its beauty and charm. It's a city that rewards exploration with hidden gems waiting to be discovered around every corner. Number 2, Lake Como, peaceful and rustic. Lake Como is a big lake in Italy, the third largest after two other lakes called Lake Garda and Lake Maggiore. People who live near the lake call it Lago di Como or La Rio. It's in a really pretty spot right by the Alps, which are big mountains. The shape of the lake is kind of like the letter Y turned upside down. This happened because ice melted from glaciers and a river called the Adda wore away the land. That's why the lake has two parts that go south and end in cities called Como and Lecco. In the middle of those parts is a famous place called Bellagio. Lake Como is famous for being really beautiful. It looks like something out of a fairy tale, with towns that sit right by the water, old fancy houses, and amazing views of the lake and mountains. You can visit lots of these towns along the shore, like Varenna, which is romantic and has a nice walkway by the water. Bellagio is another cute town on a piece of land that sticks out into the lake, and Como is the main city around here. There are lots of little towns and villages all around Lake Como. And you can find all kinds of stuff here, like shopping, walking in nature, visiting fancy houses and gardens, or trying out cool activities. The most famous places to visit are Bellagio, Verona, and Como. But there are plenty of other great spots too, and don't forget about taking a boat trip. It's the best way to see the lake. It's highly recommended to take a boat tour on Lake Como. Whether you're just visiting for the day or staying longer, being on a boat gives you a special view of the lake. Hey, don't forget to bring a power bank for your phone or camera because you'll want to take lots of pictures. With a boat tour, you can choose where to go and how long to stay. If you're with your partner or friends, you might enjoy a private tour, especially at sunset with a bottle of Prosecco. Even though Lake Como is famous and popular, there are still parts of it that are affordable for regular travelers. It's a good idea to talk to locals to find out the best places to go, eat, and stay based on what you like and how much you want to spend. And don't miss the chance to visit some of the fancy villas by the lake, like Villa Carlotta and Villa del Balbianello. You can walk around their gardens, learn about the rich people who used to live there, and enjoy the amazing views from their balconies. Number 1. Rome, the Italian capital. Rome is a beautiful city with lots of history. It has amazing old buildings like the Colosseum and interesting museums like the Capitoline Museums. People who visit Rome are always amazed by its beauty and history. The city has so much to see and do that you could spend 3 whole days exploring and still not seeing everything. On the first day, you could visit famous places in the northern part of the city like Vatican City, the Sistine Chapel, the Colosseum, and Palatine Hill. These are some of the most popular tourist spots. The second day, you could spend exploring lesser-known places like the Baths of Caracalla, which are my personal favorite, and the many beautiful basilicas around the city. These places are not as crowded, but are still very interesting to visit. Finally, on the third day, you could go for a bike ride around the Appian Way. This was one of the first roads ever built by the Romans for wheeled vehicles. It's a great way to see more of the city and its surroundings. When you're in Rome, there are some sights you just can't miss. One of the most iconic is the Colosseum, a massive oval amphitheater from the time of the Roman Empire. It was used for all sorts of events, from intense gladiator battles to showcasing exotic animals and even executions. Taking a guided tour can give you insight into its fascinating history and what life was like within those ancient walls. Another spot you'll want to hit up is the Trevi Fountain, but be prepared for crowds. This fountain is huge, 20 meters wide and 26 meters tall, making it the largest in the city. Legend has it that if you toss a coin into the fountain, you'll ensure your return to Rome. Throw in 2 coins and you might just find yourself falling in love with an Italian. And if you're feeling extra lucky, toss in 3 coins and you could end up marrying the person you meet in Rome. It's a fun tradition to try out while you're there. For a bit of exercise and fantastic view, make your way to the Spanish Steps. These steps, dating back to 1723, were built to connect the Bourbon Spanish Embassy with the Trinità de Monte Church. With a total of 138 steps, it's quite a climb, but if you can't manage it, there's a lift available to take you to the top. Once you reach the summit, you'll be rewarded with a panoramic view of the surrounding area. Now, on to the food and drinks. You absolutely have to try carbonara while you're in Rome. This classic dish consists of pasta, typically spaghetti or rigatoni, mixed with egg yolk, cheese, olive oil, and sometimes pancetta or guanciale. It's a creamy, comforting dish that you'll find all over the city, from tiny corner eateries to upscale restaurants. It's a taste of Rome you won't soon forget. But what better way to wash down all that delicious food than with a refreshing Angelo Azzurro cocktail? This famous Italian drink, translating to Blue Angel, packs a punch with its blend of triple sec, gin, and blue Curaçao. It's a bold and flavorful concoction that's sure to leave an impression. Just be careful, as they can be quite strong. 2 of these, and you might start feeling like you're floating on air. Italy is a treasure trove of breathtaking cities, each offering its own unique charm and allure. From the historic streets of Rome to the romantic canals of Venice, there's something for every traveler to discover and enjoy. Don't miss out on these top destinations in 2024. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more travel inspiration.